Buenos dias, everyone. Top 8 time in Birmingham. Ultimate Time Wizard 2010 format. As the old German saying, now it goes about the sausage. We have two interesting decks. Let's see how this goes. Basti, how are you feeling about this round?
Feeling fantastic, and honestly, the one deck on the left, it kind of surprises and confuses me at the same time, because I only so far knew Machina together with the gadgets. Like, whenever I said Machina, like, the next word immediately was following. I was always saying Machina Gadget, but this is not Machina Gadget. This is a different approach to the Machina strategy, and I'm excited to see it here, honestly, in top 8.
Yeah, looking at the deck list for me, this looks very much like a Blackwing Turbo deck list, but you replace the Rocco and Vayu with just the Machina cards.
Fair. Oh, look at that. That was honestly not that good, because that's not the Machina monster you want to send to the graveyard. That's rather the one you want to have in the hand to discard it for a Machina Fortress as you get into the graveyard. But we search for Raikou here. Opponent seems a little confused as well on what's going on there, because you do not very often see Raikou and Machina Force in the same deck. But here we do.
The thing is that you also play Pot of Everest, so every monster you mill is welcome.
Yeah, true. Oh, and the classic. The set 1 spell trap card, set 1 monster. As old as the game itself. And it will have to do here in top 8 as well.
We see a classic opening for the Blackwing player as well, where you sometimes just don't have your good Blackwings, but you have Blizzard and Vayu that don't do a lot by themselves. And this is a nice answer to a set Raikou. This is a very, very nice answer. Now we mill the Machina Fortress. And we also get rid of a Pot of Everest, which always hurts a little bit, to be honest.
That's true, set 1 and a pass. So possible quick start here for the player on the left. But no, he keeps it simple, he keeps it slow. Another set monster, another set spell and trap card. And that's all he does for the moment.
I think now we might have a Black Whirlwind plus Shura combo. Don't want to commit this into 2 set cards, though. Very patiently played by our Blackwing player on the right. Let's see how the Machina deck is going to deal with this.
For sure. These players are extraordinarily good at Time Wizard 2010 gameplay, as they have progressed through 8 rounds of Swiss in this tournament, now securing their spot amongst the 8 best players in this tournament. And now they want to, of course, take it all down, and they want to be the ultimate Time Wizard champion of Birmingham, and that is a hamster that's going to help you get there by summoning out another Raikou to the field.
That's a hamster if I've ever seen one, a super nimble mega hamster as well. And I really like the play after seeing a Raikou in this deck of not committing the Black Whirlwind to the field, because you know what? That's a prime target for Raikou to pop. Also, Shura doesn't want to be destroyed by Raikou, especially if it's your only good summon for Black Whirlwind. So I like the patient trying to bait out a possible Raikou on back row. Unfortunately, this is a super nimble Mega Hamster that just sets up a Raikou, has more Raikou pressure, and deals a lot of damage here. Fortress is going to attack as well. We're going to Dimensional Prison. A Trap Stun is being chained. Trap Stun in the main deck is also something that you've not seen every day.
And that is such a strong and powerful and speedy start here from the Machina player, basically halving the life points of our Blackwing player here already. And the Blackwing deck sometimes just needs some time to set up, but they have picked up Heavy Storm there. Is that something you just go and throw in there? Do you put it out there? Or do you have something you want to activate first there in the spell trap zone? What is it going to be?
I mean, the pressure is on you now. You have to make a power play there at some point, because you know that there is a set Raikou, but right now there is also a super nimble Mega Hamster in attack position. So that means if you Heavy Storm, you can freely play your Black Whirlwind. You can normal summon out Shura. You can get a good search. Shura is going to summon out a Gale. You can maybe go for a Black Rose Dragon play to get rid of the Machina Fortress as well. You could... What else can you summon? You can special summon out... What can you summon out? I mean, there's a way to go into Bryonic if you're playing the funny Owl Blackwing.
We just go for the Shura, and it gets met with the bottomless trap hole, but there is Icarus attack as a chain to that. That's huge. That's very well played. But there is another trap stun. Oh my. all the trap stuns in the world here. They set both as well. That's so interesting, right? Because very often you see people only set one trap stun when you have two, but they were two set at the same time even. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, I mean, I think the second trap stun was set afterwards, right?
Was it
Anyways.
though? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about it either anymore. But really like this. Raikou is now being used. I mean, 4,400 life points. You want to go for a big push. Hits the Dimensional Prison. There is going to be a Torrential Tribute milled there. Flip the card accidentally there. But it doesn't matter. The mill is supposed to be random. So that doesn't change the outcome of the Raikou. Alright, can we get some more damage onto the field? Right now, this is 3,800 damage only. We need 4,400.
Oh, Tribute Summon!
Fortress.
Game number 1 goes to the Machina deck. Let's go. This is exciting to see. A deck that is not really as popular as some of the other decks in the format. For example, as Blackwing or Blackwing Turbo. Those you see so often and everywhere. Yeah. But it's always great to see when you have a deck that usually is not really around that much. And then at one tournament, all of a sudden, one guy decides to bring it. And this one guy that is playing it here in Birmingham, they might influence the entire format.
Yeah.
And that's so interesting to see.
System Down again, or a Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon, usually a card that applies more pressure then. But System Down, of course, takes away resources. This deck summons Fortress back a lot and has Pot of Avarice, so you want to take away all of those key cards from the graveyard as well. So System Down is something that you could think about. I really liked the aggressive play of our Machina player on the left side because the opponent was hesitant to set only one card, put it back into his hand, and then set two cards, which is a fair play from a player on the left side. But then as soon as he popped the Dimensional Prison with the Raikou that his opponent knew, he was like, okay, the other card has to be a bluff. I'm going to commit into the Tribute Summon of our Machina Fortress, because now I'm very sure that there is not going to be anything that stops me from dealing 5k.
Yep, very well played, very well executed, and honestly, equally so, I liked what the Blackwing player was doing. His hand was limited, but I liked how he approached the situation with not activating the Black Whirlwind and then summon the Shura. If you think about it now, though, in hindsight, it was, I think, theoretically a good play, but the set cards that the Machina player had, I don't think they were doing anything, right?
No, it was a bottomless trap hole.
Oh, there was. True. There was. Yeah. No. True. Yeah, I guess that. True, and now I also realize he did set the second trap stun after the first one was activated. So yeah, true. Now it all makes sense to me.
Yeah, the trap stun was huge there, honestly. Chaining a trap stun to an Icarus attack it doesn't get better.
Yeah.
That is the most value you can get out of a trap stun, except for when you play versus Chainburn and you activate this on like Chainlink 5.
Ooh, don't remind me of things like that.
Happened to you once?
Crucial. Yes, it definitely happened to me.
Yeah. How did Trapstun win German nationals after Trapstun released? Chainburn.
How did Trapstun
win German nationals after it got released? It's crazy.
That was 2013, right? So a little after this, actually. A little after Time was at 2010 format.
Maybe nobody played Trapstun anymore then.
Maybe.
That must be it. Yeah.
That's a chance. Nobody played Kuribo either.
True,
no.
Yeah.
Okay, game 1 goes to Machina. And now, of course, you made it to the top 8. You have done the hard work. You have fought through the Swiss rounds, and it's basically now in reach that you can win this tournament. Only 3 more matches to be won, and then you get paired against the guy that is playing a deck where you don't really know what's going on, because this is unique. This is a little more experimental. This is something we have not really seen that much in Time Wizard 2010 format yet. So your side decking plans also kind of become obsolete because you just you don't know how to do against this deck.
I mean, you see Machinas. We have seen a Cyber Dragon in the side deck of our Blackwing player, so that's always a good choice.
That's a no-brainer. Fair. I'll give you that.
Now, if you're playing a creative deck that isn't well known by everyone, there is a downside to playing Raikou. That is, you are milling cards. You're actually giving away information.
True.
So once the deck gets more popular, I think more people have seen more cards of the deck, and they are more informed about how to side deck versus it. But then again, there are plenty of cards in Time Wizard 2010, and you can't cover everything by siding.
That's true. I think one thing that is definitely that probably in this tournament catch people by surprise is those trap stuns in the main, right? Because it's very, very uncommon to see it in the main deck. And if you know that it is there is actually ways to play around it a little bit better, right? Because then when you know your opponent is on trap stuns, you might consider activating Mystical Space Typhoons just preemptively to bait out the trap stun beforehand. And like small and little nuances like that, they change very much when you know more about an opponent's deck. But yeah, without all that knowledge, that is a huge advantage in that kind of a tournament.
Also, I'm just seeing that there is a Breaker the Magical Warrior in the side deck of our Blackwing player, and I have to be honest there, we've talked about this already. I don't know why this is a good side deck card that many players are picking up. It's just, like, it is not even an out to Shadow Imprisoning Mirror.
It's not, indeed. That's true. But it is in... I think he even sided it in. I think I saw him putting it in. And this is now the start of that second game, and we have the Blackwing player starting with normal summoning out the Shura. Okay. Without a Black Whirlwind, that's not as good, but I think we have one of the best trap cards to draw when we go first. I think I saw Trap Dust Shoot. Do we Oh, we're not immediately activating it. Interesting. What do you think about that? Are you a fan of just immediately activating it to get all the knowledge in the world, or do you also like just waiting a little longer?
That depends on the matchup I'm playing against. In this situation, I think I would have just immediately used it, because you don't want to wait for them to search for something with a gear frame or something. Like a normal summon gear frame, you would want to prevent that, right? Or a Raikou if that bothers you more. Oh, now you're giving your opponent... Look at this. You just... Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Because he set them all at the same time, but of course you set them once at a time, and then the opponent says, "Hey, after you set the first card, I would like to react," still having the chance to activate the Trap Dust Shoot. But yeah, as you just said, you don't know what the monster is now. You don't know what the set card is now. So I agree heavily with you on probably just activating the Trap Dust Shoot. You get so much value out of it one way or the other. So it seems good. I think the only punishment for it kind of is when your opponent sees 2 spell and trap cards, they might activate Heavy Storm, and when there's only 1 left, they might not activate it. But that's like the only scenario I can think about, really.
That's true. But look at this. He just put away a Machina Force. He could have taken away the Raikou. The Force wouldn't have done anything. You could have attacked directly now with the Shura. You would immediately apply pressure. Now you're giving your opponent builds. Oh, Trap Dust Shooting back. Double Kalu is always dangerous, but there's also a Blizzard, and I think you would much rather take that, because once you remove the Shura with the Raikou, little recursion without the Blizzard.
That's true. The double Kalu's there in hand. Mirror Force is something we know now as well. Essentially returning the favor with the Trap Dust Shoot there, and he definitely not wasting any time, because it was exactly 4 cards in hand, so you want to make sure that the opponent does not get the chance to play any of them out before before they go into the battle phase. Oh, it's not Raikou, but it's arguably even better. It's Consecrated Light, a side deck card coming out in here. Ay.
That's a card I would have Trap Dust Shotted away.
Oh, very much so. Consecrated Light. Yeah, explain to the people, what does Consecrated Light even do? Because it's just such a powerhouse. As you can see, it just stayed onto the field. And what does it say now on the field?
Can't be destroyed by battle by dark monsters, and your opponent cannot activate the effects of dark monsters or special summon them.
Normal or special summon. Normal or special summon and not attack, Leo. It basically, they cannot do anything anymore, essentially. It's crazy. This card could have been gone from the hand if we would have just activated the Trap Dust Shoot. I was casually asking you that question because I think it's like a generally good question on whether you want to use this card preemptively or whether you want to wait with it. But here is a very, very strong display, especially after siding, that you probably want to make sure to just see the entire hand immediately in the draw phase. Yeah. And as you can see, this Consecrated Light, it's holding the Blackwing deck back so much now. Basically, the answers we need here are Icarus attack. But besides that, there's not much, honestly. Like, Torrential Tribute, but then you also lose your field. It's not good.
Also, dude, Icarus attack is so dangerous to play against the deck that main deck Trap Stun.
Yeah, agreed.
Now, we've picked up a Cyber Dragon, which is cool, because you can tribute summon that over a monster and then attack over the Consecrated Light. However...
True, it's a light monster.
It can be destroyed by light monsters. That works. It's kind of a reverse ally of Justice Catastor, in a way.
That's true. Okay, flip summon the hamster. Oh, we're having all those little monsters. But I mean, the Shura can't even attack, so we can, without any hesitation, just flip summon that hamster, put a Raikou onto the field. The hamster is going to survive because the Blackwing player can't attack right now anyways, and now we set up another set monster. This one is going to be known, of course, with it being the Raikou.
Yep. One more main monster zone slot is open. We haven't summoned any Machina monsters, but that's the beauty of these turbo-ish decks, right? With plenty of Raikous. You can also win with basically very little of your main engine that you're running, because they are just genuinely good cards. Raikous diminish the field of your opponent. You can go into synchro plays. I was gonna stay with hand traps like Vader or Ash, but that's pretty happening in Time Wizard 2010. Other than that, absolute solid point. But you can also tribute summon Caius. Many of these decks play those. I think the Machina decklist is only running one. Yeah.
Yeah, you take a little bit of everything. Oh, it's another Shura there. Okay, that's a little bit of battle damage, but I think we are okay with that.
Yeah.
Not the end of
also
the world.
You just put the hamster in defense position. That's fine.
Yep, another monster that cannot attack there, quite simply.
And we know that both of these duelists have a Mirror Force set. That's funny, because we Trap Dust Shot at each other. The only card in both players' graveyards is Trap Dust Shot.
Yeah, feels like we just started. Oh, wait, that's the unknown Raikou, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so too.
So both of them are Raikous. 1, 2, 3. Nothing of value there.
The thing is, if we get rid of another set
monster, what is happening here? Wait,
what do we even set here? Another Consecrated Light?
Maybe, but surely this must have been the Raikou that we set with the hamster, right? Because otherwise you would not just reveal that there is another Raikou like that.
Yeah. So I'm unsure about this, honestly.
Setting another one. This game is so weird. What is happening here?
It's just floodgates. We're just waiting this out. I mean, there's two set cards that protect your Consecrated Light, so I understand why the Blackwing player is not just tribute summoning Cyber Dragon here. So
oh, it is another Raikou.
Now
going after the monster for the first time. Okay, okay. Double Prison and a Starlight Road are sent to the graveyard.
Yeah, that's not too great, but at the moment he's still fine. I mean, once the Consecrated Light is gone, I think there's plenty of stuff that can be done by... Wow, triple Raikou. Wow.
All the Raikous in the world, and now the Mirror Force that was known is gone.
And just no Machina Fortress in the graveyard. It just doesn't happen. But now we have triple Raikou. What are we even doing? Do we tribute? Oh, we tribute both Raikous here, or two of the three, for Machina Fortress.
This is hilarious. Oh, and Pot of Avarice. All the monsters in the graveyard are getting back into the deck. We just... Like, those Raikous were unfortunate in not getting too many monsters into the graveyard, because that Pot of Avarice probably was waiting there for a while in the hand. But now, with the Tribute Summon of Machina Fortress, we have finally gotten to the point where we can just activate it, recycle our resources, and also, very importantly, draw 2 extra cards from the top of our deck.
This card is not as good as Pot of Greed, but if you resolve it, it's most of the time even better.
Yes, true.
It's just a little bit more situation. Okay, we attack over the Shura. And Hamster is now going to be able to poke for 1,100 damage.
And Raikou will follow through as well.
But Kalut can be activated under Consecrated Light, right?
Yeah, I think you can activate it.
Yeah.
Because it only says on the field, yeah.
This might be a Cyber Dragon turn now.
I mean, our field is empty, so we get the Cyber Dragon for free at least. And then you can go Cyber Dragon... Contact Fuse with the Machina Fortress, maybe? Yeah, there's ways for sure.
Yeah. And then you can run over the Consecrated Light. However, there is 2 spell or trap cards that you just...
Okay,
have to
Legacy.
Get rid of before. There's for sure something that stops you from doing that Cyber Dragon play. What you can also do, actually, a Brain Control. is you take the control over the Consecrated Light and then tribute it for a Cyber Dragon.
That makes sure that you get rid of it, yeah, true.
Yeah, but then again, if there is a... no, I don't think that you should do that, because you should rather go for a Cyber Dragon, and if that one gets removed, you brain control something, run over the Consecrated Light. If he has read the card correctly, that's also a thing, right? So sometimes you just misunderstand cards. And then you have 2 shots at getting rid of the Consecrated Light, and then you can normal summon out your Blizzard and go for big plays.
So, we gotta make a decision at some point, though. And I think it gotta be the Cyber Dragon. Like, you can't wait another turn. There is the Cyber Dragon. I think it's the original print from the tins from back in the day.
Yes, I love this. It's my favorite Cyber Dragon print.
Yep, I had it as well, gotta admit. I think we activated the Legacy of Yatagarazu to possibly try to bait out a trap stun, but
yeah,
the Machina player certainly did not fall for that one. Okay, preemptive braid control on the Consecrated Light now. Interesting.
Okay. Now we put this one in attack position.
Oh, we tried to crash it, I guess.
But you can just run over it, right? I mean, that would fall into Dimensional Prison territory, so I can see why we are trying to prevent that.
Yeah.
If we take a monster like Hamster, we get prisoned, then the Consecrated Light still stays there. If the Consecrated Light gets prisoned, then you got rid of both cards.
But I mean, we see there's also Shiroko, so we just tribute Set, okay.
Wow, okay. This is, I mean, these players have played so flawless so far that there has to be a reason that I'm just
100%
seeing right now. But, I mean, attacking and then going into Blizzard... at some point, I think there is a difference in playing to play and playing to win. And I think in that spot already, you kind of want to go for bigger pushes, right?
Why, though? What's the reason?
Because your opponent has so much pressure already onto you.
Yeah.
With, like, still 3 cards in hand after you made your big turn. You lost a lot of tempo with it. You've used your Cyber Dragon as well. I think I would have tried to go for a Cyber Dragon and then Brain Control attack play into the Consecrated Light and then go for a Blizzard. Well, actually, this... Yeah, no. It's tough. It's tough. Like, now, you have big problems if he just summons out a Fortress back. Yeah. Now, Force discard.
Yes, we do.
Fortress comes to the field, and now your entire tempo, like Sirocco, gets run over by a Hamster. It has barely any defense points. And your Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon is being run over by Fortress, and it's gone now. You don't have that kind of power play anymore. So, I think this was a case of play to play and not play to win. Because that it just ends up on nothing here, and the tempo is completely on the Machina side.
Yeah, I mean, we also know about the double Kalut, and setting a Shiroko doesn't work too well with double Kalut in the hand, so... Alright, we need something to turn this around again here, and I think we drew another Blackwing there. By the looks of it, it seems to be a Bora, so... Possible monster to get on top of the Blizzard and the monster we bring back, so that's kind of nice, actually.
Actually, it can be quite big if our Machina player decides to go for a bottomless trap hole kind of effect on the Shura.
They could.
But then again, why wouldn't you just bottomless trap hole the Synchro Monster, right? If it's a Brainiac, then it's Brainiac. So maybe it's not huge at all. You can go for a summon of Bora here to ensure that if you get bottomless, you have a monster that has Kalut protection. But also, all these monsters, they don't just do too much for you. Blackwing is not the deck that comes back easily from dire situations.
That is true, and Machina has put them into a quite dire situation here. I agree, though, you have to go for the Bora here as well. Otherwise, they're just going to run you over next turn. There's just no coming back. So Bora comes out, ready to apply some more pressure. Synchro summon coming.
The Blackwing Turbo deck has cool appliances and spams out the Armor Master that is a vanilla 2300 when it's sound by the Vayu effect. The Machina Fortress, it's basically via monster effects. You have a hard time targeting it with something like a Brainiac because then you have to discard a card, and if you run over it, it destroys a card from your side of the field, and that is so huge. Kalut is discarded, Fortress is going to activate here, and Fortress is going to discard the Kalut. Now, I mean, how
Wow.
did that help us here?
That puts us into basically not having anything anymore. We went
Wow.
all in here, and there is nothing left. And we know there's a Mirror Force, so we do not even attack. Charge of the Light Brigade now as well, bringing useless cards into the graveyard. But we don't need any more cards in the graveyard here, because we can just continue to search for another Raikou. And this is advancing more and more into an already winning position. We have 4 cards in hand, challenging the 0 cards in hand for the Blackwing player right now.
And there's just a Bryonic not on the field anymore, bro. And there's the handshake already saying, hey, you have +6 cards over me. I can't win this game at all. And Machina is advancing
to the top 4. He might be setting a completely new trend for the entire format. Maybe this is something people have beforehand not experienced enough with, but this is certainly something worth noting, and it will be exciting to watch whether he can advance with his Machina deck here all the way into the finals of this Ultimate Time Wizard tournament from YCS Birmingham. So make sure to check out the top 4 and the finals to find out whether he made it all the way there and maybe is our winner of this tournament. And you can find all of those remaining matches also here on the very same YouTube channel. So definitely, immediately, basically, head on over there. And then we will hear each other again for another round of beautiful Time Wizard April 2010 format.